Imagine you are on a holiday. Think of the beach, the sun, and the sound. And then one day at 5:30 a.m., you get a message, and your entire life changes. Welcome to No Ordinary Life, a podcast about real people and their real stories. I am Ruchita Misra, your forever obsessed with stories host. Today I have with me Diana Kocheva. She is an extremely capable, competent lady. She spent years building a life for herself, which was then snatched away one fine morning. Diana then came to London with just one pair of clothes, the clothes that she was wearing. This isn't just a story about losing everything. It is more so a story about how she fought back to build a bigger life for herself. Not just for herself, actually, but for literally thousands of others. If you have ever started from scratch, or you are staring at life, looking at potentially starting from scratch, this is a story for you. Because this is no ordinary story, and this is no ordinary life. I cannot wait to dive in. Diana, welcome to the podcast.
Hi, thank you so much for having me here today.
So, Diana, take us to life before that message. Where did you live? What was life like for you?
So I was living in Kiev, and I'm telling everyone that pre-war Kiev was the best city to live in. It was an energy, vibrant city. People from all the world were coming for that extraordinary vibe to live there and create. I had my own, I would say, like information bubble and community of people who also were studying abroad, who also were working abroad, but they choose living in Ukraine just because it was like their conscious choice to live and stay there. And I was just finishing renovation in my new flat, right in Maidan Nezalezhnosti. It's like the heart of Kiev, I would say, like historical center. And basically all my worries were about the startup that I was raising from zero, and I was just like building it. I just moved to art tech industry, something that I was always wanted to try, but never had the courage to. And all my life before I was working in fintech, but during COVID, I realized that I'm commercially successful, but not happy. And that's how I started combining my biggest passion in art with something that I'm good at, building startups. And yes, basically life was exciting, vibrant, and there was amazing energy inside when you wanted to create stuff.
So I'm thinking of a young, beautiful Diana living in a vibrant city, building a life of her dreams. So you had a new house, you had a new job that you were basically starting your own startup, and life was looking good.
I would say even like it's not me being nostalgic, but life was amazing. Of course, there was like so many worries, but all the problems were about like excitement. You were every day, every morning, you were waking up, was like, oh, what's coming next? What
Really?
next surprise you're coming? Like what next surprise we're trying to have? And maybe it's me now romanticizing that
The
period
past.
a little bit.
But that's fine, you're allowed to.
Yeah. But I also do believe that, like, for example, even a dog, I was dreaming to have a dog for 10 years, but all my life I was constantly on business trips, or like I was moving from country to country, and I finally got a dog. So for me, it was, I settled down, I'm finally home.
Oh, Diana, just before all of this happened, you have finally found a place professionally, location-wise, dog-wise, where you're feeling very settled and happy and looking forward to life. Okay, and then you go on a holiday. Where did you go?
I went to Tenerife, and I'm not a big fan of that island, never was. And my ex-boyfriend back that time, he was like pushing me. And now we're all laughing that he convinced me to go to that holiday because I was in the middle of fundraising. I just got a housewarming party, so I stayed in my flat only for 7 days. So I still didn't, I wanted to stay there longer.
Yeah.
And we're all laughing that he convinced me just because he said that we will go to Madrid and I love Prado Museum. I was like, okay, we'll stay in Madrid for a weekend. It was 14th of February. And then going to surf in Tenerife. So I'm a big surfer. I love everything with waves and the ocean. So I was like, okay, fine. But still, all my focus back then was on startup and fundraising, how to finish it successfully. And Tenerife, I wasn't so excited about that holiday, but I still went.
Oh, okay. So then it's the 24th of February then. So 10 days after Valentine's Day week in Madrid, and you're holidaying. And at 5:30 a.m., your phone starts beeping and you receive some news. So Dinah, what happened then?
Actually, in my case, it was even different. I woke up at 5 and I started like feeling like very sick.
Really?
I went to toilet. I started throwing up. I was like very sick, and I was thinking, okay, what did I eat wrong? I was like, we didn't eat any street food. So I was just thinking, okay, what's wrong? I went to bed again. Then I started feeling even worse.
Really?
And only then I already took my phone and I received a message from my parents like, we're all right. I was like, who is writing you at 5:20 a.m. saying, knowing that you're abroad, knowing that you're all right? And then news arrived. Then I remember there was a video of like interview. I was like, okay, officially war started. And I was staying with my friends in the house, and they already woke up because their parents, their friends started messaging, started calling. It's like, okay, war has started.
So essentially, Russia had attacked Ukraine that day, that night.
Yes, it was official escalation.
In your story, there are many things that have taken me by surprise, especially this part where you felt physically sick even before the message reached you. So tell me what happened then, because you then fell very sick then.
Yes, and I couldn't stop throwing up. But again, I was just sure that I will drink some meds and it will be gone, because again, I was too focused on what's happening at home, what's going to happen to my parents, because they live in eastern part of Ukraine and where it's like so close to the border with Russia. And I was constantly on the phone with my friends. A lot of friends actually reached me. It's like, hey, are you in Kyiv? We can just like pick you up and we will head out to the border, or we'll go abroad. And that's how I started like realizing that, okay, even if I'm really far away from them, I can be helpful in coordinating. So for example, okay, no, you don't need to pick me up, but there's another friend who's staying there with a kid. Can you just go? Yeah. Can you pick her up?
Oh, wow.
And then just because I was studying in Academy of Customs and Control, so I have a lot of friends who are working at the border.
Oh.
And I started pinging them and asking, okay, which borders are working, which is not, like, do they have big lines? So again, also to try to navigate, just to help people to move to safer place.
And you're falling, as the hours are progressing, your physical condition is deteriorating. So you end up in hospital.
Yes. And again, I'm that person. I was living with doctors. So my mom is a doctor. So all my life, I was like, if you feel sick, here is a medicine, here's a pill, and just go to school, go to work. So no time to
go to the hospital. Yeah.
No, I mean, it's not like I don't trust doctors, but you never go to the hospital. You have everything at home.
That's exactly the same with me. I come from a family of doctors. And the first time I actually went to a hospital was here in the UK, because back in India, I would just have everything come to me.
Yes, they know what to do. You don't need to go to the hospital. The same goes to my family.
I understand.
But I think it was already afternoon, like maybe 12, when I started like all my skin became black.
Oh, wow.
And that's how my friends actually pushed me to go to the hospital. I went to A&E.
Yeah.
And only the next day, and I was like, okay, you gave me an IV. I'm back. I'm ready to back on track. I feel so much better. Can I go home? They're like, no, you're staying the night. I was like, wow, how come? And only the next day, doctor told me that if I would come 30 minutes later, I would be dead.
Really?
My kidneys will just collapse.
So what had happened to you?
It's dehydration.
Dehydration?
Yeah. And again, just because I was too focused on like helping others,
Yeah.
what I can do. Of course, I felt like bad and sick, but I was sure that it's just,
You'll be
I'm
fine.
stressful, I'll be fine. And if talking even about like medical terms, somehow, so when I was Googling, because again, everything in Spanish, when I was Googling the disease, usually such disease is like kidneys are collapsing, and usually such disease can happen only to kids who are newborn kids, and they're like no older than 1.
Really? And you were having that problem?
Yes. So, and when I'm telling that your body always know the answer, for me, it's also like showing how, I always like in that exactly moment when someone told that the world have started, I just lost faith in humanity, and maybe that's how I was like born again in this world. That
oh my God, Dinah,
yeah, but it's like, of course, it's like many years of therapy afterwards, like try to dig it. But back then, I was like, it's not making any sense. Can I please go home, or like just tell me which medicine I need to drink? I'll drink water.
Whatever you want me to drink.
but in my head, it couldn't be serious. So I didn't realize
how serious it was.
No.
And then you ended up in ICU.
Yes. So I was staying. Yeah, I was staying there for 1 day, and again, I was on the phone constantly. Even like I have pictures from my friends who's like, I'm under IV, but I'm on the call.
Trying to help people back in here.
Yeah. And I was basically became this logistic center.
From Tenerife.
And
from the ICU in Tenerife.
Exactly. But I felt so much shame. I remember this, like I was ashamed that I'm worried about my parents. I'm worried about my family and closest ones. And they were worrying about me. They are under rocket attack. And I'm in Tenerife in a safe place, but they were worrying what's happening, why I'm that was another interesting moment for me. Is like how shame worked. Even if you can understand everything by brains, but talking about feelings and emotions, it will be different. And also it's about like coping mechanism, what I can do. Like for me, it's like always important to be helpful. So I couldn't even allow myself to recover.
Rest.
Yes, to rest.
You know, it's very interesting for me as I was reading about you, that in a crisis, a lot of capable women, and that's written all over you, capable. Women become the infrastructure, become the backbone without thinking about what all of that is doing to them. And then they have to spend time and energy later to fix their heart and their mind and their brain. But in that moment, they're the backbone of everything. So, Diana, in my head, I have this image of a Ukrainian lady in the ICU in Tenerife, not sure what is happening to her. Doctors telling her that 30 minutes later, you would have been dead. Her country has been attacked. And all her energies are now focused on saving or helping as many people as she can back home. That's you.
Yes. And for me, it was not even like few days. I would say it was like a month.
So how long were you in the hospital then?
Yeah, I was in the hospital only for like a day.
Yeah.
But again, I was still under medications, even like everyone is often, I escaped hospital. Like, it's not for me. I was like, but I was like, it's not for me. Can I just stay at home? Tell me what I need to drink. I had like special care, special food. But yeah, I was like, where I can be even more helpful, because, well, on the phone, I need a laptop nearby. I didn't have laptop with me. So. And again, every day back then, felt like a new challenge, because every day I was learning something new. For example, I had no idea any details about army ammunition. Now I needed to understand what to order, because a lot of my friends and even like developers from startup, they became volunteer and they joined army. So we needed to buy ammunition for them.
So you were trying to find ammunition for people who were fighting the war?
Yes. So
really?
And I was like, I have no idea which ICO certification, whatever. But I found vendors. Again, I'm always laughing that that's how harsh I can be to others people, because I do believe that anything is possible. If there's so my motto for life is like, if there is a will, there is a way.
Yeah.
So if my friend needs ammunition, I need to find it now. Yeah, because I'm abroad. I don't have a racket under like flying or like destroying my house. I'm in a safe shelter. I'm in a safe country. So I need to be helpful.
Diana, you and I need to be friends. Because if there is a situation and somebody will help, you will help, right?
I can also see how also navigating you are. It's like, okay, you're like, okay, you're doing this, and it's like you're also good at navigating people. Like, I have no idea what to do, but I'm finding a person who is good at it, who can do this, and who will be the best in that industry. That's also how I believe.
So then, so did you end up actually helping people back in Ukraine move to safer places, get stuff that they needed? All the way from Tenerife.
And all the way from Tenerife, and a lot of friends who actually flew even to Tenerife. Another friends, they went to the houses of my friends from other European countries, because again, I'm lucky that I was studying abroad, so I have
lots of friends.
I have friends from any country, you name it. I'll find a person who like my best friend for life. And for me, the coolest part was actually to see the support and encouragement from my friends with whom we couldn't even like talk before. So maybe last time we have discussed something, it was greetings for their birthday, but everyone wrote, what help do you need from us? Of course, I was like, okay, you can be helpful there. It's like, can my friends move, like right now they're crossing the border. Can they go to your place? So we were trying to find summer houses. We were trying to, a lot of friends opened their doors, their houses, and they hosted a family that they have never seen before.
Because through you.
Yes. And we were just trying to navigate, actually, even like through me, but also there was a lot of friends of a friend who I also have never met before. And they were like, okay, we can be helpful. Someone gave me your contact. I have a house. I don't know. I have 3 additional rooms. I was like, okay, hello. Give me 5 minutes. And I was placing people. Yes. So it was interesting logistical operation, because we had a lot of different issues.
On your CV? It should be on your CV.
I was like, in my CV, there should be one phrase. Whatever you want.
We can do it.
We can do it.
Also making me think of Diana right now is that war is such a catastrophe, right? It shows the worst of us, of humanity, but also in such cases shows the best of us as well, right? So it's a dichotomy.
I love, have you read Michelle Obama's book, Becoming?
I haven't, but I've been meaning to.
No, it's like, she has this phrase that because of her job and her position, she was in the houses like of the richest people in the world. And she was also in the places where it's like the poorest people live. So she saw also the worst condition. And that's how I also believe that in any crisis situation, it's like showing me humanity. So first of all, I lost faith in humanity. I was like, how it can happen. But from another point of view, after time, I realized that I saw so much help and support I could never even imagine from strangers. That was also quite boosting and inspiring and encouraging. So I can continue doing what I was doing. So you then stayed in Tenerife for how long? For 2 months. I think first month, again, everything was like in fog. Like every day you were doing something that needs to be done. So could you go back home? Because was your house okay? What's happened to your house there? Unfortunately, nothing survived. So if talking about my parents, yes, the house is there. It's only like 12 kilometers from the front line. So I'm constantly worrying. Like, for example, rockets hit the street where my mom's house, where she lives, only 2 days ago. Oh. And of course, she doesn't want to move anywhere. She was like, oh, well, my house is there. My work is there. I'm going. I was like, oh, maybe it's too risky to wait your life on the house. But anyway, it's her choice. And your house doesn't exist in Kyiv, no. I'm sorry to hear that, Aina. So the house that you built just before you left on holiday, so you did not have a house to go back to? No. And so fun fact, I don't have a house, and it's something that is driving me crazy, because for me, it's like, it's important. Safety net is very important. And I do believe that anxiety that I'm having like now, like living in London, like whatever can happen to my job or to me, like, yes, but maybe a backup plan is my parents' house.
Yes.
But but I don't have. It's not like about faith in it. Of course, I hope everything will be all right. But it was always like my parents' house, like a house where I grew up. It's not something that I was building exactly.
So, how many days after the first bit of news did you figure out that your own house has been bombed?
I think it happened also like in 2 months.
So your house has been bombed. You have no house to go back to. So now you're spending those 2 months trying to help everybody.
So so first month in Tenerife, every day we were solving different problems. Problems from, first of all, we needed to figure out, okay, we're prolonging the stay because we're supposed to be back.
Yeah, where are you going to stay? Yeah.
Yes. So we just found apartment that we could rent for a month, not for a day, like Airbnb. Second, every day there was like an issue. Our banks were blocked. Then we needed to figure out, okay, so every day was a new challenge. Then just because was
your boyfriend still with you, or were you alone now?
No, he was still with me, but his parents, like, he's also originally Ukrainian.
Okay.
And he was also trying to help his parents to move. So he went to help them in the border, like in Romania. He flew to Romania. So like every day there was like a lot of things to handle. And don't forget about startup and fundraising part. I was the only one from the team who was abroad. So I felt responsible that everything should be on my shoulders and I need to figure out what to do. And I was working in that industry for like for too long. So I knew pretty much every VC fund. And someone made me an intro to the new guy I have never met from Irish fund. And this Irish guy, when we have like just talked, I pitched him startup. He was like, no, how are you doing? I think it was, I'm always telling that it was like a cold shower for me, because before no one asked me what I'm gonna do. Because in my mind, I was like in a safe space. It's already good for today because everyone was like living in a day. We didn't think about what's going to be next.
Yeah.
And this cold shower made me think, so you're like, no, okay, enough with startup. We're not giving money in art tech. It's not our industry. But do you want to move to Ireland? I was like, why Ireland? What you're talking about? He was like, you need to think about long-term plans.
Yeah, where will you go?
Yeah, so he was the one who actually, I'm always laughing that he just like highlighted, like light on me, pointed like, I'm lost as well. I lost everything and I didn't think about that point.
Sometimes we need somebody to ask us how we are so that that question can save us from ourselves. Because you were focused so much on others and helping everybody that you were probably not even thinking about yourself. So thank God he asked you that question.
And maybe it was also good timing. So we started thinking what to do.
So then what did you do?
That's how I started like thinking where to move. Because, well, apparently Ukraine wasn't an option. But I remember first days of war, I was sure that it will be
fine.
There will be a solution soon. I'll be back home. After 1 month, I'll realize that no, it's a long term, unfortunately, and I need to do something.
So, Dinah, you've come with that suitcase, right, for your holiday?
Yes.
So you just have that.
And again, funny story about this suitcase, because what do you need in Tenerife? Jeans, t-shirts,
suits.
I bought in Madrid. I bought a new scarf just because I was cold. Yeah. But everything else was just for surfing. I have a lot of swimming shoes for surfing.
Oh my God.
That's it. Yeah.
So, and this is cold weather as well, right? For Europe, if you're coming to.
Of course, yes. And it was February, and already, okay, now we're talking about March when I was like started thinking where to go next.
Yeah.
And that's how I,
Then what happened?
And that's how I choose London. Because, well, for art tech industry, it's one of the best places. I'm big city girl, so I know I needed a big city. US, I didn't know what's gonna be there. Talking about like visa, it was harder. And in the UK, they created a new program, and it's called like Home Scheme for Ukraine.
Okay.
And friends of my friends decided they are going to Bali. And my friend said, okay, you can stay in their flat while they are in Bali.
Oh, so you had a flat to stay in.
Yes. So, I mean, for me, it was like a perfect plan. So I will have.
And what happened to your startup back in Kiev?
Yeah, we put it on pause. So CTO died under rubble.
Oh my God.
Developers joined army. So
It disbanded.
Yes, I was like, I don't have mental capacity, energy,
Of course.
and I need to put it on pause.
And your dog?
And my dog, he was staying with my parents.
So when the house came down, he was fine.
Yeah, he was not in Kiev.
Okay.
He was in with my family in Zaporizhia, and of course he was under constant bomb attacks. Now he's afraid of fireworks, of loud sounds, so he has PTSR. But he survived.
Yeah.
And a fun fact that when war broke, what my parents were afraid of, that the dog won't have enough food. So they went and bought food, but I have a corgi, and they bought food for German Shepherd. So they were feeding him food of German Shepherd, the same size. He gained so much weight. So maybe for George, it wasn't the worst time of his life.
He had lots of good food.
Yes. And I was like, okay, I'm going to take him. My parents were like, no, you need to find where you're moving, find your long-term plan. How so? We were laughing that they're not giving me back my dog. So I need, like, they're like, figure out where you're gonna be, what you're gonna do, and then you can take George, because I was worrying about him. And yes, I moved to London, and then only I got him back from Ukraine.
So talk to me about the day you moved to London. So you've got your suitcase from your holiday with the swimsuits and the bikinis and very little other things. You have a place to stay. What's going on in your mind?
So first of all, I felt like imposter, because when I was crossing the border, I had this refugee visa, home scheme for Ukraine. But I had suntan, I look like, because in Tenerife, there's like a sun. Yeah. So I had like suntan. My hair was like super blonde, just because it was like constantly under sun. I was like, I felt like
you're not the
imposter
person
syndrome. Yeah, exactly. And a lot of my friends who got under like this traumatic experience of running away under bombs. So I felt guilt, like survival guilt, that I wasn't feeling what they're feeling. I wasn't under attack. I was in a safe spot. So that's what I remember.
I have some friends, because there's so much going on in the world. I've got some friends who are here safe, and they're going through so much trauma because of what exactly you've described, because they feel like it's almost a feeling of guilt that I'm not there having bombs and missiles raining on me, but I'm here safe. So it's not a feeling of like, oh, thank God I'm away, but it's a feeling of, I wish I wasn't here. And is that how you also felt?
Yes. And now I realize that it's like normal survival guilt.
Yes.
But back then it was new for me.
Yeah.
And even now, these days, I still fight it.
And Diana, tell me, so the day after you came to London, the next day you went to an art fair and bought art. So you don't have a house of your own, but you've bought art. What was going on in your mind?
And so I think I moved on Wednesday. And on Thursday, I went to art fair because, again, I was invited because of my startup. I knew a lot of people. And I loved one art. I used to, like, I'm an art collector, and I used to have amazing collection. And
back in Kiev.
Yeah. And I was walking in art fair, and I loved this print. It's so funny, cute. I was like, okay, I like it, but obviously it's not smart idea when you don't have a plan. You have like no place, no flat to live. You're like staying in your friends of a friend's flat. To bought a print because it was also quite expensive. I was like, no, and forget about it. And on Sunday, I met a friend who was, we were friends for now, I think 16 years.
Oh, wow.
Back then, yeah, 14. She lived in London for more than 10 years. So I had this, I would say, a snapshot from my old life. In the morning, we had just a coffee with your friend. You're laughing, and the coffee place looked exactly as my favorite coffee place in Kiev. Then we went to like market near London Fields, like Broadway Market.
Hmm.
I was like, oh my God, it looks exactly as Courage Bazaar in Kiev. And then it was like crying there because it's like a flashback.
Hmm.
So we had like amazing morning and afternoon with her. And I was like, no, I need to have this. I need to have this print.
Hmm.
I need to get back my life that I used to. Because before I was like, if I like it, I'm having it exactly moment. I need it now. So I went back to art fair. It was the last day. It's London Art Fair. I bought this print, and already with the print, I saw there was a banner of art tech startup. I was like, oh, what you guys are doing?
Hmm.
And then someone called a founder.
Hmm.
I met a founder. Is like, okay, can you come tomorrow? It will like I told them about what I was doing, how we were like pivoting many times. And he was like, can you come to the office tomorrow? We'll drink coffee. So I was like, yes, sure, of course. It's always great to find amazing people just because I can see that we have also like the same interest. And the next day I went to the office and I got a job offer.
Oh
I was sure.
Dinah, really?
Yes. So everyone is laughing that it took me less than a week to get a job offer. But back then I was sure that that's how it's working in London. You know, it's like huge city.
It's not how it works in London. So I was thinking about this story about the art print, and I felt that, so much of your old life had been taken away from you in a snapshot. But it was your way of being a little bit defiant, holding on to yourself that I like art. And even if other things are not fixed, this is me and I'll have a piece of it for myself. But listening to the full story now about how you found a job through that, I think it was the bigger power, the superpower or God or whoever you believe in, maybe guiding you to stability through this. And it's amazing. It's amazing how these things work out if you were a nice person, I think.
I was like, I would never call it stability. I do believe now we're forgetting about this word at all. Just because, I do believe that in the world that we have at the moment, there can't be stability. Yeah, so you just need to be kind of like flexible. But now, looking at the situation that happened to me 4 years ago, for me, it's about coming back to myself. So it's like, what is
finding yourself again?
Yes, there's like it's natural for me to want art and own it, and letting myself to live a life, not hiding from people and just be focused like it's my small room with spiral thoughts, but just like letting the life. Well, I liked it. I went it. Yes,
let in the life and not. I think that's a very important takeaway, to let in life.
Yes.
Okay, so there's so many things in the story, Dinah. So 1 week in London, you found a job for yourself. So you're starting to rebuild your life in some way, but you're still feeling like you should be doing more for people, and you start doing something else for other Ukrainians in the UK. So can you tell us a little bit about it?
In my case, it wasn't even about like, oh, how I can help. It happened like differently, because again, every day I was still doing what I was doing, connecting people, helping them to navigate. But in this particular case with job offer, it was interesting path because I started receiving around like 300 messages per day from people who I've never met. And it's like, okay, I heard that you found job for yourself. Can you find something for me?
Oh, wow.
And there's like,
so your story was traveling, that you found a job in 1 week. So.
And a fun fact, I was never recruiter in my life. I was never community manager, event manager. Happened to be one. So I thought that if I'll create one Telegram chat where I'll answer, because all the questions were the same. So I was thinking that if I'll unite all those people and will answer those questions in one chat, I'll make my life easier. No. When there became a lot, super fast, there became a lot of questions that I have no idea how to answer. It's like, what particular certification I need to gain here to get, I don't know, PM's job? I have no idea. Let me find a person who has this job and I'll ask them. And I started inviting people from my personal network. Again, also friends of friends, even people who I've met on the street. I was like, oh, what you're doing? Like, oh my God, I need your brains. And I started inviting them to the park. Why to the park? We were always gathering in Green Park just because there was no cafe who could fit us in. because I started calling my friends who are event organizers. I was like, okay, do you have this situation? If you have 20 people registered, but 60 arrived. They're like, no.
Really?
She's my friend. She's like one of the best event managers in Ukraine. She's like, no, Diana, there's always the opposite problems when it's like 60 registered and 20. So I had
started gathering in Green Park and you would call 20 people and 60 would arrive.
Yes.
So no cafe could hold you.
No, that's how I started gathering people in park. Luckily, 4 years ago, maybe you remember, it was a heat wave. So there was like no rain. And so I was just inviting speakers. They were good. Yeah. For example, even that friend that I met in the morning before going to the fair to buy the print, I think she was our second speaker. And she has placed 16 people.
16 people.
I can't even count how many CVs she has redone, but she was helping so much. And she has placed 16 people because she's working in big bank. She was like, okay, we will need you. And again, there are so many companies who were open to it. And they were like, okay, yes, we need people. And they were doing some fast tracks. I was like, okay, or just, they were telling me, send me their CVs.
So how did you get in touch with these companies? Did you just reach out?
I was working in fintech for too long.
So you knew all of these people. So you basically actioned your network here in the UK.
It's my personal network. It's my ex-clients who I was always fond of. And I remember also even talking about art tech, because I still believe that there is a huge risk, because in fintech I was successful and there was a lot of clients and ex-partners who was like, okay, come join us now. And I remember I was like, okay, I placed in that industry in the art tech too much. I risk already too much. I don't want to be back on. So it was another internal fight, whereas like, do I need to move to fintech just because of my personal network and it will give stability, as you mentioned? But I decided, no, I'll take these risks and continue in art tech space.
So then how many people did you help?
Okay, at this moment, because in my threads, I think it was 2 days ago when I was laughing because it's the latest story. Long story short about UK job market. I needed to help one person, one man who didn't even know I helped him to get this job.
Okay.
And then when he was trying to find someone on replacement on his job, I put my friend's CV. And he did an intro and he was like super helpful to tell her what to answer. So now I have 2 happy people who has jobs just in 1 month. That's how I'm laughing. That's in a nutshell how it looks. But if talking about general numbers, at the moment it's more than 1,200 people. So I do believe
you've helped 1,000. Like, can we sit with it for a moment?
Yeah.
I work in the corporate, so I know how ridiculously difficult it is to find a job. And you have single-handedly helped 1,200 people.
Yeah. You know, sometimes not knowing and be stupid is a blessing, because I didn't know. I didn't know it's hard.
Yeah. So you just went all in.
Yeah. I was like, I had no idea. I was sure that's how it's working. I didn't know it's hard just because I had no idea. I was always working in business development. So I think I have this mind and brains when it's like matching. So before I was matching, let's say, companies and clients or products and clients.
Then you match ammunition and soldiers.
Exactly.
Then
you match like
jobs and people.
So basically my brain's working as matchmaking. And sometimes, yes, you're coming and you're telling me your experience and your story. I was like, well, why don't you try this company?
Wow.
And then I'm coming to the company and trying to understand what they need or like who they're.
How does it feel when your fellow countrymen here in the UK, so the Ukrainians that have been displaced, come and say thank you to you?
I always feel like, why you're saying thank you? Like, what did I do?
Now only.
Yeah, so
I don't know what to say.
I also like feel. So, for example, like I can be super proud if someone like will tell me like, "Ooh, I love your style or jacket." I was like, "Yes, yeah, I was picking this up." But when it comes to kind of like social impact projects, maybe now already after 4 years, I realize how hard it is. It's like talking about energy efficiency and like how much energy you need to give to have results to do all of this. But back then, I was like, no, I need to think my army. I need to thank. So there's like in my head, there's so many people who you need to thank before me.
And I think also you're so focused on helping everybody that the few that you do, you're like, oh, this is just a small portion. There's so many more to help. So
yes, I was like, it's unstoppable. There's always new way. What I can see, there's always waves of migration. Again, just as we have discussed even before recording podcast, there is so much going on in the world right now. And there will be even more and more numbers of people who needs our help.
So Dinah, then where are you right now? In your head, in your mental space? What's going on now that all of this, it's been 4 years, you've helped so many people?
So what I realized that again, I'm always learning by my own mistakes. Sometimes mistakes can be expensive. And 2 years ago, I remember I was in my lowest, in my life. And I do understand that was the biggest impact, that I was just postponing it. You know, I was too focused. So it was my own coping mechanism to deal with the trauma, to help others, not to think about how to help myself.
So you were focusing on others just because that was...
Yes, so that's why I don't need to feel pity or
fear or anything, because you'll be so busy thinking of others.
Yes. And
now
in 2 years, it kicked in.
Really?
Because you can't avoid it.
No, and you shouldn't actually, but yeah.
Yeah. So what I'm still learning to say no. Like, for example, of course, I would like to help, but I don't have capacity at the moment.
Right.
But
Your problem is
hardest. It's the hardest. So I'm still learning.
Where does this come from, Dinah? This innate need to help, because a lot of people could be very selfish and say, I've been through enough. I need to just focus on myself now and focus on my job. But you're spending time and the number of hours that you must have spent to put these people in jobs. Where is that? Why is that coming? Where is that coming from?
So I still believe, and again, it's coming from trauma, and I still believe that this is like survival guilt.
Survival guilt.
That it's not like I'm able to help or I want to help. It's like I'm obliged. I don't see another option. If there is a problem, I need to solve it, because there are so many people who are in much worse position. So
a lot of people experience survivor's guilt, which we're talking about. But very few people actually make it fuel for change or fuel for helping others. So you've actually taken a very complex emotion, flipped it on its head, and used it to help so many people. Are you proud of yourself?
I'm proud of people who are getting new jobs. I'm proud of their life and experience. In my case, I wouldn't call it proud. I was like, now I believe that I'm strong, and now I have awareness of how strong I am and how much capable is. Like you mentioned, like capable.
I didn't know that. It's written on your face.
But back then, I wouldn't even know that I have such talents, let's say, because now I can see that it's a talent. Because before I was like, it's a skill that, it's like a muscle, you're going to the gym. But in my head, it's like visions. I just see jigsaw. I was like, for me, it's like so obvious. I was like, why you're struggling to get a job? You're just knocking to the wrong doors. People are looking for, like, at me, like they're surprised. I was like, for me, it's obvious. Yeah. So Dinah, in all of this trauma that you've been through, and you've flipped some of it around into such positive stories for you, it's another person you've placed, but can you imagine the impact that's had on that one person's life? And you've done it 1,000 times over. So the amount of impact that you're creating almost unknowingly is immense. If you're placing one person, their partner, their children, they all have food to eat and a shelter on their head because of what you're doing. So what has been your learning in all this experience? If you have to say these 1 or 2 things I've learned, what is that? Again, it's something that I always knew, that if you want something, you can get it. But now the biggest learning is to actually find, I don't know, fast track or like shorter cut, just because you don't need to struggle to get it. I was like, what? Yeah, that's what I'm like speaking with a lot of people who are trying to get a job. I was like, okay, why do you want to compete you're, let's say, an apple and you're trying to compete in the best lemons contest. Why?
Best lemons contest.
Yeah,
Yes,
like
why?
you can become sour, of course, but you'll never be a lemon. So why you
I
trying
love
to
it.
paint yellow on your coat? You're amazing apple. So the biggest learning is actually to see these shortcuts of people and these superpowers of people. So I think I never thought that I can be good at it, but apparently I am. It's like asking some questions and understanding people's superpower and helping them to find in the shorter way how they can be more successful, more calm and happy. So that was number one learning. Like, don't compete in best lemon contest if you're an apple.
So what you're saying is that you shouldn't just target the most attractive looking companies. There are lots of other companies that you can go after where you might be better suited.
For me, it's about not even the company or the job position or a role. It's like a jigsaw where you will be a star and which company can also help to close your needs. And it's all about
You're
matchmaking.
able to.
Yes, you see, it's matchmaking. It's just like in dating life as well.
You should do that as well. I'm sure you'll be very good at
That
it.
happened to my Indian friend. And I just mentioned him that, well, I want to go to Indian wedding this year. And I posted a story about like he was cooking. I love paneer that he was doing. Yeah. And I said that, okay, he's like I just posted the story like the most eligible bachelor of Wembley. And the girl with whom he's with now replied to the story. So and maybe it worked. Yes. Yeah. Oh my God. So maybe I'm even good at matchmaking in dating, you see.
Tell me one thing, Diana. If there is somebody right now watching this, listening to this podcast, who is potentially looking at a life situation where they might have to start again from scratch, like you did when you received that text, what would your advice to them be?
First of all, I will congratulate them.
Really?
They might look they might look surprised and like because what I also realized and maybe remember by myself that I hated PT and I didn't need PT. And when will say congratulations, it will be genuine. It's not about like me trying to fake and make life better. It will be like congratulations. You're finally. It's so much easier to start when you lost everything, the life that you always wanted. And that's what I'm even telling to people who moved to the new country and they're looking for jobs here without any local experience, or their jobs are irrelevant here, or they can't work, just because of all this licensing, certifications, blah, blah, blah. I was like, try to remember what you always wanted to do, but because you never had a chance to try.
Yeah, this is a chance to now be who you truly wanted to be.
So I do believe that you always have these situations, not by accident, but just some people will call it like God blessing, or like if you believe in energy. So you can call it whatever is better for your religion or beliefs, but it's your way to start from white paper.
So God gives you a white paper. Yes. And says, now you draw what you've always wanted to.
Always wanted, and you were too afraid to try, for example. That's a perfect start.
So when everything is taken away from you, it's a perfect new start.
New start. It's so much easier to start from new because also a lot of people believe that, let's say, all materialistic stuff were taken away from you, but no one can take away your experience, your brains, your dreams, and your knowledge.
What has been the worst in all of this? What's been the one thing you've really struggled with?
Anxiety, because I still have this. I do understand that it's taken so much my energy. I can be so much more helpful without it. I can
without the anxiety.
Yes, and I think this anxiety that eats a lot of this energy. And given, spiral thoughts, you always have this constant noise in your head. I'm still afraid to receive a message that I don't want to receive. So, and this constant noise is inside my brain.
Do you have faith?
Yes, of course.
Because I deal with that kind of anxiety sometimes, and I've realized that it's because, like you, I often feel like everything is on me to solve. You've actually done it for thousands of people. So you probably feel it much more. And you feel like I'm responsible for everything to be all right. But I have also realized that I'm not. And I've also realized that it's almost like I'm a little leaf floating in water, and it's the waves that take me somewhere. And sometimes that's surrendering and that faith that everything will be okay. Because Diana, you've done more than okay. Even in the worst of situations, you've done more than okay. So in all the narrative that you've been telling me, the very strong feeling that I've been getting is that somebody's been holding your hand. And that somebody is far more powerful than you ever would be. So you are protected.
That's good to know.
I can see that. I can in whichever way I look at people and energy, you are protected. Somebody's looking after you because you're looking after so many people. So there is a very powerful something that's looking at, and it will always look out. So, Diana, there's a very quick question. I know a lot of people who are struggling to find jobs in different parts of the world, whether it's London or US or India, wherever it might be. And you've placed thousands of people right now. So, if I could ask you, what would your top 3 tips be for anybody who is right now looking for a job?
Maybe it will sound strange, but I have one tip that works the best.
Really? Okay.
It's like think about industry or the topic where your eyes are shining. Just because I do believe that, well, it's talking about London, it's the most competitive market right now at the time. Like, even if talking about numbers or statistics, seriously, it's the worst time to be
scary. Scary numbers.
It's the worst time to look for a job now. But at the same time, where you can be different. And here I'm not talking about your background, education, invest there more. No, I do believe that even in these AI industry times, people are still choosing people.
Yeah.
So the end decision still goes to human beings. And when, let's say, you have the most amazing education, you're perfect fit, you're fully capable to do any of functionality that is in job description or in the interview, but you were in this industry for too long, or you're bored with this, you're not really interested in, who will they choose? Experienced and broken, or someone with a fire in their eyes? So have a sparkle in your eyes. And I'm not telling like to fake it. I still have no idea how you can fake it, because I do believe we're still animals. We feel plastic emotions. So if you'll try to find a job in the sector or industry where you genuinely feel that you really believe in it, then you'll be chosen. And that's how I'm saying it's always a shortcut. Because even talking about statistics, it's possible in the world to take any spot in the world. Seriously, you want to become a position, I don't know, you think that you want this senior position in that startup, Anthropic right now, like you're open in LinkedIn, everyone was in Anthropic. It's possible. It's game of numbers, algorithms, statistics. It's possible. So there can be a plan for it. I even see in my head like how any big role can be done by milestones, how to get there. So anything is possible. But I was like, why do you need to try harder if it will be so much better for you to be somewhere where you belong and where you genuinely wants to be?
And you'll feel happier.
Of course. Yeah. So
that's a very
first a question I'm always asking, what do you want? So it's always like this. First, you need to understand who you are and what do you want. Not your parents want for you, not society. You're open in LinkedIn. Everyone already have C-level positions. You think that you want to have it as well, but do you really? So if you understand yourself, then it will be a shortcut. And my life hack is shiny eyes.
Life hack is shiny eyes.
Yes.
And that makes a difference, huge difference.
I can see, and it's not even about difference. It's about how much efforts and time it's taken you to find a new role, and everything will be so much easier. Even people who are you're working with after it are nicer. So it's a complex.
Okay, so one thing is to know who you are, and the second tip is shiny eyes.
So if let's do step by step. First of all, who you are. your pluses and minuses, your superpowers. Always sell your superpowers. It's something that I was telling you about, like lemons and apples.
Yeah.
Second is to understand what you really want. So I think it's connected. So I'm not even trying to differentiate them. It's all connected. And third, it's shiny eyes. And by that, it's like go somewhere where you genuinely want to be.
And for you, that's art?
Oh, it's a lot of things. But yes, art tech, even though I can see it's not the biggest industry compared to fintech and money-wise, it's not the biggest industry. It's niche in niche, but it's still something where my eyes are shining and I can talk about it for hours even if I'm not getting paid.
No